Hello. Big news this week is from an unlikely Y Combinator alum who happens to be here in Portland. But before we get into that, first I wanted to just touch on what's up with the news breaking late in the week lately. Last week, after I'd already recorded the episode, we had Rapta announce that they had raised $2.7 million with Portland Seed Fund, Local Fund participating, also Local Fund Roadster Capital participating in that round. Rapta uses AI for precision manufacturing, so helping with that kind of stuff. But anyway, learned about their round late in the week. And then learned about, right before I came on here to record, learned about the fact that Oregon Venture Fund participated in Conveyor's $20 million Series B. Now, Conveyor is a distributed company. Maybe some folks here in Portland. What Conveyor does is kind of like, you know how you use like Reclaim AI or Calendly to like make your scheduling easier? Well, my description, not theirs. Conveyor does similar things for like security audits, back and forth kind of things around security. Did you do this? Do you have your SOC security, all that stuff? Like they use AI agents to do that work. So B2B play, helping, simplify the back and forth and really take humans out of that mix so that humans can do more important things while the back and forth stuff happens. So that's what Conveyor does. They're now part of Oregon Venture Fund's portfolio. So I'm looking forward to learning more about that company. Now, on to the big news. Birch Biosciences. A lot of news about them happening this week. They're the ones I call the kind of unlikely Y Combinator alum. They're here in Portland. They use enzymes, first of all, which is a unique technology to be using at YC. But this is, again, my very basic description, only to get you slightly interested. So you go like, Rick, that can't be right. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to go look and see what they actually do. But here's how I understand it. They work with the recycling of PET plastics. So the types of plastics that are, say, a Coke bottle, like a plastic beverage bottle. Now, I didn't understand this before I talked to Birch a while ago, but a Coke bottle, a plastic Coke bottle currently cannot become another plastic Coke bottle. It can't be recycled into another plastic Coke bottle because when you recycle that plastic, you heat it way up, you put all this stuff into the atmosphere, you lose a bunch of fidelity of the plastic, and it can only be used for other things. Like maybe it's now a track or it's filler for something or something along those lines. But what Birch Bioscience is working on, along with AI and enzymes and all this kind of stuff, they are actually keeping the fidelity consistent. So, long story short, a Coke bottle can become another Coke bottle in a future life. Now, where'd they come up with this stuff? Where'd they get smart enough to think through this stuff? The founder is the former CTO of Absci. And so this is his new pursuit. And I've been watching them for a while. They're kind of quiet, but super interesting. And it's really nice to see them get in the news. They were covered in the Portland Business Journal. And if you happen to have a subscription to Plastics News, they were covered there as well. But again, it's just nice to see Birch Biosciences gaining more visibility locally, because I think they're working on something really interesting. They really want this to be a Portland company, and they really want to be known as a Portland company. So I'm looking forward to hearing more news from them so that I can keep them top of mind for you when people ask you, like, what startups are going in Portland? What's good in Portland? You can be like, oh, we got this YC alum called Birch Biosciences. They're revolutionizing recycling with enzymes and AI and stuff. So congrats to Birch Biosciences on the coverage, and also the licensing agreement with the Department of Energy that they are able to now take some technology and include it in their process. That's what the news was all about. But I got so excited just to see Birch Biosciences in the headline that I kind of buried the lead there. I apologize. They were able to license some new technology that should improve their processes. So I will, of course, keep an eye on Birch Biosciences, keep you informed on this super interesting startup we have here in our midst. As you know, June is Pride Month, and so in honor of Pride Month, in celebration of Pride Month, Pi and our friends at Built Oregon and Better Portland and Vanport Studio put together another one of our fireside chat events. We continued to iterate on it. The feedback we had heard previously where folks were like, we like seeing all the people, we like learning about all the people, but we'd like to see you spend more time with people. So what we did was reduce the number of speakers who are participating in this edition, but we recorded it for you. So if you missed it, don't worry. But the folks we talked to during this session, Carmen Olson, the chair of Built Oregon, was our host. We had Corey Shalibo from Deo. You remember the Deo app that like rewards you for staying off the social media? He was there. He was there as well, and very eloquent and very charming on stage. It was great to have Corey there. We have Nicole Kelly from Gay Awakening Coffee, who was great. We have Mike Mangiola from Cultured Kindness, which is vegan cheese that came through the Built Accelerator program. And then last but not least, we had Matt Dittrich, who is the president of TIE Oregon. So thanks so much to all of those folks for joining us. I would love for you to hear the conversations they had. Much lengthier conversations, mind you, not the kind of quick format we've done in the past, but actually getting in to some topics and conversation with all of those folks. So if that's of interest to you, of course, I'll link that up. And this may be the last one for a while. I mean, it's getting into summer. We'll still do the July thing. We'll do the July big get together at the Red. Come on out to that, and I'll link that up, and we'll have food and fun and all those kind of things. We have the whole Red and the parking lot, so there's a lot of space. We have a lot of people there. I sincerely hope you show up before you disappear for the summer for that July event, but then we may take a break. Take a break, let August and September kind of folks figure stuff out and get back to school and all that kind of thing. And then look, definitely to do another event in October in time for Hispanic Heritage Month. So that's kind of what's happening. Again, please go watch the Portland Startup Community Fireside Chat Pride Edition. It's a really good one. I really enjoyed. I had to be part of it. Did not enjoy having to be on stage and interview people. I usually like staying behind the scenes, but it was just a really good session. I think we're really honing in on the way that format could work. So I encourage you to go watch those founders and hear their stories and hear from the people in the startup community in honor of Pride Month. But the Pride events are not the only events in June. Next week, June 20th, we have the Oregon Startup Conference. On that Friday, it's a full-day conference. It has speakers, it has panels, it has a trade show floor, and yes, it has a pitch event as well. So if you're interested in spending a full day with your peers and maybe potential mentors and investors and other people from the Oregon startup community, head on down to Newberg, Oregon on the George Fox University campus for a full day of startup goodness at the Oregon Startup Conference. Tickets are $55 and change, so really good price for a full day of programming and all that kind of stuff that you get to see and do down there in Newberg. We're kind of in need of having another marquee tech event. We have the Silicon Forest Tech Summit that's occurred the past couple of years, which has been amazing. Like 900, 1,000 people in January happening. That's a big gathering, great tech event. But we need more. We need more than just one. So seeing the Oregon Startup Conference is exciting. Seeing some of the other bigger events that folks like AI Portland are starting to program. Stuff's starting to happen, and it would be really nice to have a few more of these marquee big events that can bring the community together, can potentially be destination events for people either outside of the region or outside of the state to come join us and hang out and get to know our community and get them better connected with the Oregon startup community. So I'm really excited to hear about the Oregon Startup Conference. I'm really looking forward to seeing how it goes and how it continues to improve year over year. I realize that programming big events is a huge challenge, so many moving parts, and with so many things going on at the Oregon Startup Conference, congratulations to the programming team for even pulling this one off. I really look forward to hearing the feedback on the event. So the Oregon Startup Conference is happening at a college. Happening at the University of Portland is a startup event for all the colleges in Oregon. That's right. It's time once again for the finals of Invent Oregon. They're being held at the University of Portland this year, June 27th. So June 20th, a Friday, is the Oregon Startup Conference. The next Friday is Invent Oregon. Again, another full day event. Pitch competition, trade show floors, all these kind of things. The only difference here being these entrepreneurs, these founders, these startup companies are students at universities who are building new and innovative, interesting concepts, really, approaching the world from a different perspective that someone older or someone from the business world may see opportunity. I always love seeing where college students are coming at problems where they're seeing opportunities for innovation and technology, and there is no better place in the state of Oregon than Invent Oregon to see those up-and-coming entrepreneurs with really compelling ideas. So if you have time to go and my voice keeps cracking because I'm so excited. If you have time to go to that event on June 27th, please grab a ticket. Of course, I'll link it up. It would be great to see a ton of people there supporting these students, these early stage young entrepreneurs who are going to be building the startups of our future. And then finally, this one isn't even a big deal, but it's an event happening in June. So I was looking at the videos, and since you're still here watching this video, I feel comfortable sharing this with you. Like, I was going back and I was like, wow, a lot of stuff has happened in the first half of 2025. And by the time we reach the end of June, I'll have 26, at least 25, 26 video recaps of each week for the Portland startup community and what's happening in Oregon startups and all that kind of thing. So a lot of information to go through. And I was like, well, what's the best way to consume that information? And I was like, well, why don't I just watch it at 2x? And so I'm going to do that. But here's the other thing. Why don't you watch it with me? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to live stream it while I watch the whole first half of 2025. Who knows? Maybe I'll have some new commentary I can lay in. Definitely hang out with you on chat and talk about all the things happening. We can do fun things like tally up all the money that's been raised, or maybe how many times I mention an event like Demolicious, or how many times I say so, because that's my tell in this show. I say so many times, you don't want to even count how many times I say so. But anyway, if you want to show up, it's going to be on a Sunday, easy going. You can pop in, pop out, come back. I may try and give some timeline around when, I think I'll be talking about this company around this time period, or I think I'll be discussing this topic around this time period. If you want to tune in for just specific stuff, I'll work out that timeline for you. I think all in all, if I looked at the amount of content for the 26 weeks and figured that all of it is, roughly 15 to 20 minutes at 2x, we wind up having right about 4.5 hours of content. And who knows, maybe if it's going well and there are a lot of us here at the end of the whole thing, then maybe I'll stick around and we can do some more Ask Me Anything AMA kind of stuff. I don't know what I'm doing. I just thought it might be fun. I thought I'd try it. You're still here. So clearly you're willing to put up with me for an extended period of time. And I thank you for doing it. Even if this is your first time here, thanks for sticking around this long. If it's your second time here, I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. I keep missing the mark and not really fulfilling the objective. I don't understand the assignment, but thank you for sticking around. as long as you have. Hoping you might join me on June 29th, which is a Sunday at noon, for that watch party recap of all the things that have happened in the first half of 2025. Okay, so that's it for this week. Hope you're hanging in there. And until we get the chance to chat again, please keep up the good work.